It's a far cry from, how I grew up, which is more rural. You have farmers, you have people that own businesses and factories, that kind of stuff. Yeah. You can always add weight to that. I was getting into sports, and I'm not a huge statured guy. And it was one of those things that I knew that I could control. And it was a factor that gave me some ownership over the process. And that's really why I got into it. And from there, it just grew, and I enjoyed the process so much, and I saw the results that, hey, I was like, oh, shoot, I can make a career out of this. Can you feel the difference? That looks so much better, man. Nice job. I came here in 2015. We actually started in the main weight room downstairs, mixed in with all the general population. What happened was we did a really good job with those kids, that we got more kids and it grew. So then we were able to have our own section upstairs. And the same thing kept happening. We kept evolving our culture, and it kept going more, and more kids liked it. So now we just moved into this 3,000 square foot space just for us within the facility. And the same thing we're hoping to have is just to keep evolving and growing and creating things for these kids. The staff's kind of a wide variety. Everybody thinks a little bit differently, which is exactly what I want. And everybody has their own background, and we just use it to our advantage versus being like, hey, this is how I want things done. A lot of times I'm like, here's your lane, this is what I want done. And they know that they have the freedom, and I'm not gonna yell at them if they do something different than me. And sometimes they do something different, I'm like, damn, that's awesome, I should do that. I wanted it to be organized where we can have multiple things going on at the same time, but it also work in coordination where people aren't crossing over themselves. So that's really why we designed it. It was just a flow to be able to go from stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. When everybody comes in here, right, we don't just go, all right, jump into the group, here you go. Everybody needs an initial eval because we like that one-on-one. We want to see where they're at. And then from there, we can put that into their group, into their training, and record that and start from that process. Because it's building that relationship, and doing it one-on-one a lot of times is easier than jumping into a group. And you can see that some kids, if they're nervous and intimidated one-on-one, how they're gonna react in a group. And that allows you to also coach them differently to meet them where they are. And that's why the eval is so important. We just call it the athletic movement analysis because, I'm judging every movement that they do, whether they know it or not. And then throughout time, we slowly explain things to them. This is why I want you to do this. This is why we're doing it now, like this. Later, it might not be like that. But that initial introduction is huge. And we found really good success with that. Jan actually didn't start training till he was about 60 years old. And he didn't start training with me till he was about 70 or 71. That's really how it started with him, and is he liked what we were doing, and he saw me train with other people and was like, I think you're the person. And it goes back and forth with him. I don't take it easy on him. And he still wants to compete in powerlifting, so guess what? We're gonna do our best for that and go by feel. If he feels good, we're going heavy. Sheridan came to us, she's trained at multiple different places. So with her and soccer, that's always been her goal. And you know what, she's achieved it. She's gonna go play University of Charleston, and she's worked really, really hard through it. But we've worked with her through the whole time of her ups and downs, and she's committed. She comes in 4 or 5 times a week now. Now, not all the sessions are hard, some are recovery, but she's bought into the process. She's bought in so much that her whole family trains now, her dad, her mom, her sister. And you see the same thing happen with them, and you just realize you're changing these people's lives. And she's been the embodiment of that. And it's just, it's just awesome. That's the best way to put it.
Next year, for the soccer team, they don't have a strength coach. It's usually just their assistant coach. So Ryan will be able to post workouts for me to do in season and out of season. And then as I come home for breaks and stuff, I can still work out with him and keep the program going.
Sydney is an ice hockey goalie, and you wouldn't realize it because she's not a big stature person, but she is somebody that works really, really hard. She's on the other end of the spectrum where she'll almost do too much, so it's pulling her back a lot. And her goals have changed from what they were. At first, it was to play hockey at a high Division I level. Well, she got offers, but now chose to go the academic side. But she still chooses to train with us and be with us because she's gonna go to WVU later. So we don't necessarily do just athletic stuff with her anymore. And it comes back to, how do we just build this better person, and how do we teach her how to train for life?
I trained at the school and it wasn't really like personal one-on-one. And with Ryan, he's just like really helpful. He actually watches what you do and makes sure your technique's right. He just talks to you. He's a good person.
So look, we're not gonna sit back like this. We're gonna keep this tilt. Okay, roll out as far as you can.
One of the kids that I train, Eli Kiger, has this background that he does GNCC racing, which is he races a quad for a couple hours, and working together with him was really cool because you get to see, okay, well, you need to be ready for this, but also your alignment. So you have two in-range things.
Before I started coming here, we were a mid-pack guy, and then I finally woke up one day and said, hey, I want to be good at this. I want to be great at this. And found Ryan, we got hooked up, and we started training a lot, and it's really helped my performance a lot. It brought me to a near championship. We fell a little short there in the end, but it made us one of the top amateurs in the country, and I thank that to the people here at Pro Performance and Ryan.
Nice. Way to move the feet.
My role as a coach, I truly think, is just to build better humans, build better people. And we don't have the direct formula, but it's having these standards where I expect the athletes to have this level of maturity when they come in. I expect them to act this certain way. I want them still to have fun, but you have to do it respectfully. All the groups are pretty much control chaos. That's my favorite saying for it. And TrainHeroic really allows me to control that better. So with what we're doing, I can write down ahead of time what I want them to do. Now we still can change it on the fly, but when these groups come in, they already have an idea of what they're doing, where they need to be, and they like recording, and I like what they record because it makes them accountable. And when you have, 3, 4, 5 groups going on, if things are getting crazy, I'm like, go grab your phone, pull up your workout. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. If they're traveling, it just gives us options, and they're still on the path that they need to be on. So we're able to provide better guidance through what they're doing. And that's been a game changer for us because instead of me writing 15 workouts on a whiteboard, I can sit down on a Sunday and really sit and plan out everything I'm doing. And when I'm in the zone and rolling, it goes, all right, this makes sense, and I can put it all together. The reason that it works so well is nothing is given for free. You can't just pick up 405 pounds without training, because you have to earn this, and you don't get instant results. This is something that you have to work towards, and you don't see the results for a long time. So through that process of, hey, I have to put in the work, I have to do this, that's what builds better people, because it builds resiliency.